What's up, y'all? It's your boy D. I'm here with my man T, and this is Saturday Morning Traffic, greatest podcast, not the latest podcast. And today on the Full Court Series Shooting Guard Edition, we're going to be debating James Harden and Allen Iverson. And with that being said, you can imagine this is going to get very spicy. It's going to get hot like a bag of Takis, you know what I'm saying, real walkie-talkie. And today we got a special guest, you know, chiming in and giving us his input on how he feels about both players. He goes by the name of Drew. So
that's my boy Andrew. Yep. We went to high school together way back in the day. Man, I can't believe it's been I graduated in 2007. Dang, man, it's been 13 years since high school. Oh my gosh, man, I'm getting old, bro. And me and Andrew go way back. All of us from the 907. Shout out to Anchorage. And we're gonna bring him in here. Andrew, how's it going, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
We're doing good. We're ready for this debate. So what you been up to lately, though?
Oh, boy. Nothing much. Just working, you know, Amazon and at this gym. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm dealing with this heat.
Oh, yeah. Because you're in D.C. now, right?
I'm about 30 minutes away from D.C., so kind of.
Yeah. Man, it's like 90 degrees right now here in Cali, so I'm like tired. It's hell hot.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But like 5 here.
It's what?
It's at least like 75 here. It's pretty hot.
75. That sounds nice about right now.
Now you think Seattle though.
And so you in a black on black car with nothing but leather seats. Piece of bacon, man.
Piece of bacon.
I hear that.
All right, man. Well, let's get into it. You know, the James Harden versus Allen Iverson, and let's go. All right, here's the debate. AI, the answer, versus James Harden, the beard. We'll go with our guest. Drew, who you got?
I was going to go ahead and grab AI, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, make your case.
Well, I had about 7 main points that I wanted to focus around with AI. It's funny that you put that picture with the Lakers because that was arguably his best year, honestly his best year. That year he won MVP for 2001. I like to put some context around that, and that leads to my next point. The only players he were playing with that had also won awards was for Sixth Man of the Year, Aaron McKee won that, and Dikembe Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year, all in 2001. Some of his accolades, he was an 11-time All-Star. From 99 to 2007, he averaged 22 or more points per game. Only 6 feet, and he revolutionized the crossover. Little known, I don't know if it was a little known stat, but one thing I like to put out on there, he was kind of a good two-way player. In 2001, he was ranked second in steals. And my biggest take-home fact, and like really the driving point, was that 2001 year in that picture where the Lakers ran the table, they only lost to one team in the playoffs, and it was the first game that Allen Iverson played them in the final series.
Yeah. That was a crazy run. Like when it's only AI and you're going up probably the best duo ever to do it, like that's when you're really, to be honest, offensively pretty close to be by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like you said, at 6 feet tall, like that's impossible. I mean, to even get one game, especially with their momentum and everything, that's a tough thing, right? Now, I know it looks like D got kicked off. He'll be back on in a moment. I know he was going. He wanted AI, so I'm gonna take James Harden. So my thing with James Harden is right here. I mean, first 3 years coming off the bench, he's kind of like Kobe-esque when talking about not really started, not getting a lot of minutes, even though James Harden in his second and third year, was more of the sixth man role, right? But he didn't really get to shine. It's hard to shine when you're all-star caliber, but you're the third option off the bench, right? So once he really showed what he could do once he got to Houston. And once he got to Houston, I mean, it was how many times have we seen 40-point triple-doubles, 50-point triple-doubles, so many 30-point. Like, what was that? Like, last year he ran a streak of 30-point games, more than Kobe and T-Mac did it, right? I think Wilt was the only one who – I think he even passed Wilt for the most 30-point games. But that's only one aspect of the game, right? And it's also like what you were saying, AI is pretty well-rounded. But, like, when I look at James Harden, when he got to Houston, because that's when he was more playing, it seems like the whole game, right? It was –
yeah.
He averaged like 9.5 assists since he's gone to Houston per game the last 5 years, close to 30 points and like 7 rebounds. So it shows that he's 35, 5, and 6, but that's kind of it's not what his real impact was when he actually got his first starting role, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think offensively, he's probably the most gifted since Kobe. The way he plays, the way he can score and light you up. But that step back, how he revolutionized that, I mean, it's kind of a travel setback, but, you know, he'd be like –
definitely gets the whistle whenever he wants it.
Sometimes it looks like he's moonwalking, all right? So,
yeah.
But it was like when KD, like he, in a way of how the rules are with the up and under, right? Getting fouled, using the rules. And I think Luka has kind of copied what James has done, right? So it's in the rules. It looks like a travel at times, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's like, as a referee, I don't know if you've been a referee before, like for kids or anything like that, but I have. And when kids, like, as a referee, seeing everything going, obviously it's a slower game compared to the NBA, but it's all pretty fast, right? So to actually stop the game and be like, hey, we got to look at this for a travel, that's why, you know, they don't really call it. It's like game speed is a lot different. As you know, we both played and everything, so we know how it is. But, like, I would have to, like I said, go with James more so. It's just really hard. I think right now AI is the better player or had the better career, but James Harden's career is not over. That's why it's kind of a – I mean, James is in his 8th year. I believe AI had 12 years, but really 10 productive years because kind of the last 2 years we kind of don't even need to count those, you know?
Well, his career numbers were like at 28 or 26 a game for the whole career.
I think it was right now at season 8 and for AI's seasons, they're pretty similar, right? But I think the more James Harden is in control, the higher his stats will go. I will say that James Harden does kind of stuff the stats. I would give AI as the better defender by far. This guy James, if he worked, here's the thing. James really worked on his defense. Without really playing defense, he's a top 5 player, right? If he actually
on defense?
No, I said right now he's a top 5 player. But if he focused more on defense, he could be even higher. That's what I'm saying. So without really playing defense, he's it is what it is. I mean, we saw him like let people pass him in the lane, and he points at his teammates like, "What are you doing?" More clutch. Yeah. I would have to go Allen Iverson, right? But just efficiency-wise, except
playoff
the playoffs.
Success.
Playoff success. I would have to go.
No, that's Iverson. I'm telling you, that's Iverson. Because he's never passed the Western Conference Finals, and he often fades in the Western Conference Finals, you know. Especially when he gets in the shooting slump, it's like he doesn't have that playoff mode that like LeBron will have or even Curry will have, Kawhi would have, where he just turns it on and then is like,
let me ask you this.
Have that yet.
Let me ask you this then. All right, so during that time of the East, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really have another star, right, with him, right? But was the East harder or easier compared to the West with James Harden time? What was harder to get out of?
Oh, it's always been the West.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's like because during even like when you had the Warriors who were the Warriors, right? Let's go back to that game 7. Let's go back to that game 7. No reason the Warriors should have won that game.
True.
Okay, at home, and you go for one for I don't know, it's like 28 or 29, right? Like that's pathetic. Like as you know, if you ain't shooting good, you drive, get into the paint, right? Get those fouls, get the momentum going. But yeah, man. I think James Harden will have the overall. Right now, AI has the better career. I think over time, once it's hard to like this debate was hard to pick because we originally wanted Allen Iverson, but we're like, damn, who has his scoring ability and at his height? We couldn't find anybody. That's like he's like the GOAT when it comes to height-wise at his position. There's like no one even close. Scoring ability, the only one we could think of was really James Harden because he does play point guard, shooting combo guard, right? So that was like really tough, but like no reason why with Chris Paul, I think if they would have kept Carmelo, give Carmelo more than 10 games, right? that was a travesty. Like that was horrible. And look what he's doing for the Blazers, right? Even if you're coming off the bench and 18 and 10, that's great. That's really good, right?
Yeah.
But that system wasn't for him either. Just like OKC, but that's a different thing, different day. But James Harden overall, I think is the best. Man, I can't even say that actually. I mean, offensively, I have to say the same. Actually, I probably have to go AI just because of the rules back then. It was harder there was hand checking, there was all that. So I think it was harder to score at that. But like you could knock him down and he's up. Knock him down, what's up? He gets up. With James Harden, it's more. And that's what I knock against James Harden is that in the playoffs, as you saw, he's not really shooting to make the shot at the end. He's shooting to get the foul.
Oh yeah.
I hate that. I can't stand that. And that's the thing that he has to get out of his mind.
It's not good for the viewer, but at the same time, it's like he's eating off that. So it's like it's producing results,
Yeah, and that's why I was saying like offensively, since Kobe, I think James is there because how often Kobe and James got to the line, right? I wouldn't say it's such a step back because that's Harden's go-to move, but I mean, but even KD is there when it comes to offensive, right? Like but James has scored more, meaning because he shoots more, right? He's not the volume shooter, kind of like Kobe was. But Kobe, I mean, no one's gonna like right here, bro, like right here. Right, that's the J right there. But let's get D's take real quick. Let it go for a little bit. Resume.
Sorry about the mishap. My phone overheated and my shit shut down. But anyways, I'm not sure. What Andrew said. I'm pretty positive about Tony. I mean, he's my co-host, so I know how. I know how this guy works. I know I'm definitely rocking with Allen Iverson. For one, his career, he wasn't a stat pattern, and that's my biggest thing with James Harden. James Harden will give you 67 and take an L and be happy with his 67, and not the fact that they didn't, and not disappointed that you didn't win. Him and Carmelo hold that same. They have that same vein within them. Carmelo's game has developed and changed. His mindset has changed over time, but James Harden's still like that. Like Skip Bayless said, if it took 53 free throws for you to win a game, James Harden's going to do it. That's completely uncalled for. Why do you – other way you can maneuver around the court and score, but if that's your only option, hey, I get it. But you're more than happy to do it. But you're not more than happy to go out there and bust your ass and get a win. And that's what I feel like it is with James Harden. With Allen Iverson – he didn't just play basketball. He changed basketball. He reinvented. The way basketball is looked at now. How the players, with the groomsmen's bags and the fashion, all that's Allen Iverson, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So Allen Iverson
could
have never won a ring, but he got his championship. He got his ring changing the NBA. The structure, how players are treated, like how LeBron when he had the whole world's eyeballs on him when he made the decision to go to Miami, he changed the game for players to control their career after that. Allen Iverson made it cool for Allen Iverson is the reason why Damian Lillard can play ball just as good as he does and rap. Now, as far as numbers are concerned, I mean, that's debatable when it comes to James Harden and it comes to Allen Iverson. But in that same sentiment, neither have a championship. Neither played for a really great team. I mean, James Harden plays for a great team, but who's their coach? D'Antoni. I can't stand D'Antoni. You know how much I hate D'Antoni.
Oh, I'm right there with you, bro. Like this dude.
And D'Antoni. That 7-second small ball bullshit, it works every 6-7 years. It didn't work with the Knicks. It didn't work with the Lakers. It didn't work in Phoenix. It did work in Phoenix for a little bit. What, like 2 seasons?
Wait.
And after that, it was over.
That was small ball Phoenix?
Yeah, 7-second. Leandro Barbosa, Shaq, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion.
I wouldn't say small ball for that. I mean, you get Shaq.
That was small ball.
Amari 6'10".
Yeah, Amari, but I'm not necessarily saying small ball was taking place in Phoenix. I'm not saying Amari was a part of the play. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
That's all I'm saying. Amari was doing his own thing in the midst of that 7-second small ball, but that's literally the year that Steve Nash won that MVP when he was in Phoenix. Around that time, his numbers were boosted because it was all offense and hardly any defense. That's why it seemed like Amari Stoudemire was better than what he really was because his defense, he was the only person really playing defense. You got Leandro Barbosa over here busting corner shot threes, stealing balls. You got Steve Nash doing assists and all that. You got him doing so much work. But back to my original point, Allen Iverson is better than James Harden for the simple fact of James Harden is not a leader. Allen Iverson is a leader. That's what differentiates them two. James Harden is not a leader.
I'll say they both had their issues.
Yes, but hold on. Let me finish. Chris Paul came to your team, and everybody can sit up here and say Chris Paul was problematic. Chris Paul caused issues. No, James Harden ran into a real leader and couldn't accept the fact I'm the better player, but you're the better leader. I can't diminish my role because I'm the star of this team. I left OKC to be in a better position. You see what I'm saying? And you're in a better position, so now you feel like you're the leader. When you have a real leader on the team who's selfless, like Chris Paul was when he was in Houston, because that's what I honestly wholeheartedly believe, and you can't accept that, that's when conflict ensues. So, yeah, Allen Iverson is better than James Harden. It's not up for debate.
As of right now.
I know a ring's not going to change the conversation.
Well, what I would say –
Let's ask that question.
Let me ask.
How much do rings matter? How much do rings really matter? This is a team game. And, every organization's goal is a ring, no matter what they tell you, But should be, rather.
I think rings matter, but I think what differentiates whether rings matter or not is the class that comes with it. Tim Duncan's had the most perfect NBA career ever. That's not up for debate. There's no player that you can sit up here and tell me that's had a better, smoother, easier path to success than Tim Duncan. Now, when we look at Michael Jordan and we say rings, the first thing that you say is, well, Michael Jordan didn't win them by himself. You don't say that about Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan was he was so smoothly woven into the team aspect. You're never going to just say it's because of Tim Duncan they won a championship. You're going to say it's Tim Duncan, but it's Tim Duncan when it counted. The only reason why MJ gets put over everybody else is because with MJ dominates. Tim Duncan doesn't have to dominate to win. Tim Duncan is okay with not taking the last shot. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
Exactly.
So then, is that more attributed to Greg Popovich's system or him as a player? Because at one point, Tim was ready to leave and go to Orlando.
Yes, we talked about that. Team up with T-Mac and Grant Hill.
This close to happening.
The reason why is because go ahead.
But around the time that I think Tim Duncan was going to leave Orlando, I think that was like 2 years. That was like around the time Grant Hill was with. It was Grant Hill. It was a good situation. It would have made. He was trying to get a ring at that time, and so you got to think. If Shaq's in Orlando, not Greg Popovich. Tim Hardaway's in Orlando. Grant Hill's in Orlando, and then you add Tim Duncan to that mix. That's at least 2 to 3 championships right off the bat. You see what I'm saying? And then the next year, time goes by. Shaq's, he's still there. Tim Hardaway's getting injured. Grant Hill's got his foot thing going on. Like, it seemed like a great idea at the time, and I feel like that's why Tim Duncan ended up staying in San Antonio for the simple fact of, you know what, maybe if I just wait it out, it'll work out. And then literally in the next 2-3 years, he ended up getting a champion in that lockout season. And then from there, he's just been he's always been consistent enough to find his way back in the playoffs, in the finals, to win.
Hey, D, I'll break this down. That wasn't the real issue. I lived in San Antonio at this time. Okay? So before I moved to Alaska, I lived in San Antonio for 12 years. Childhood. Mm-hmm. So the reason why he was about to leave with everything was going annoyingly wrong in the house, right? But the reason why he didn't leave to Orlando, okay, Doc Rivers didn't allow his mother to go on the airplane with him to Orlando, okay? He said, no, only you can come. So he said, okay, I'll still go, but he basically wasn't going to sign. And that's why he stayed there. All right, so you got to blame Doc Rivers, all right?
Doc Rivers is funny looking, bro. He looked like Kermit the Frog with a fade. I just wanted to put that out there. But, back to the debate, the main focus that we've been talking about, Allen Iverson, 100% all the way. Allen Iverson, 100%. James Harden, he's got a lot of work to do to get up to AI. When you change the NBA, I'll give you my phone number. We can talk about it.
Let me ask you, has James changed, I wouldn't say fully changed the game, but how many people has he affected with that step back of more players doing it now?
You call it a step back. I just think he found ways to cheat.
What about KD with that rule? Now KD's they can't do that anymore.
Beta! KD's a beta male. He's not a real man. No. KD just KD is – this is how I look at KD. A lot of people want to sit up here and say LeBron started the super team era. No, he did not. There were super teams way before LeBron. The 60s Boston Celtics.
Whoa.
Let me finish. The only reason the 60s Boston Celtics, that when he won all 11 of those rings, that's got to be there's got to be something super there. You see what I'm saying? The Showtime Lakers, that was a super team. They drafted Magic Johnson. They had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they got Wilt Chamberlain. You're gonna sit up here and tell me that's not a super team?
I think
the only difference between what? Yeah, it's still a super team.
No. There's a big difference between drafting and they become all-star and actually saying, no, I'm not going to re-sign. I'm going to sign with this team. I would say the Lakers were.
The difference between what LeBron did and what he did, each individual player that was a part of Miami had their own team and were doing their own thing. You got beat by the same team and you had a 3-1 lead. And in the midst of that 3-1 lead, that's when you made the decision to go to a 73-9 win team that was good without you and took them over the top. So LeBron, Miami, obviously 100% was a direct derivative of the Boston 2007-2008 Celtics. And we all know that. That's something that's common knowledge. So when he went to Miami, D-Wade had already got his championship with Miami. Chris Bosh was already the superstar of his team in Toronto. And LeBron James was clearly the face of the NBA in Cleveland. So when they all came together, Chris Bosh signed first before he even knew LeBron, and D-Wade already signed, and LeBron, boom, he came. Now you got a super team. Kevin Durant is using the LeBron scapegoat concept to get out of the situation of, oh, yeah, I did sign to a super team. If you put it like this, if you let your bully beat you up and then the next day you're like, you know what, he kicked my ass yesterday, now we're best friends. That's basically what KD did. I'm saying he's a beta male. I'm not, I'm just talking shit, but Let's be realistic. That's a cop-out, bro. You wanted a fast ring, and you got 2 rings back-to-back. 2 finals MVPs. Like, we're not mad, but just call it what it is. You didn't do what LeBron did. You did what KD did.
Go ahead, Drew.
On a team that also had a former MVP. Like, I don't think there's been another team that had at least 2 MVPs on the same team ever. I don't think. Maybe Shaq and Kobe, maybe.
The Showtime Lakers. All 3
Magic
were
and who else?
Magic
Kareem?
was an MVP. Kareem was an MVP, and I'm pretty sure Chain was an MVP.
Chamberlain was before that. He played with Jerry West.
I think that's why they were considered the Showtime Lakers, because like it was literally that. You got to think a modernized version of that team in 2020 would literally be insane. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to me, is better than Michael Jordan.
Kareem,
There's a lot of people who suggest that.
I have Kareem 1.
It's hard. It's a hard argument, but it's a good argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good debate because if you look at what Kareem was doing, Kareem's been a beast his whole entire career. There has not been a season where Kareem averaged less than 25.
I think going into college, he never lost a basketball game. Like, I mean, like
going into the NBA, he was undefeated in high school and college.
Yeah, that's insane in itself. I'm just like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, Jordan didn't get good until what? Like he had good games. He was nice. Yeah. It took him a minute. His talent was developed. Kareem came out the gate balling, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got other guys in the mix. You know, Bernard King, Vinnie Johnson. Like, you got all these dudes that were doing great shit, and Kareem's just squash, step on you, push you out the way, get out the way.
Hook shot. Yeah, hook shot.
And like you said, he revolutionized the game. Yeah.
A lot of people want to say Magic and Larry saved the NBA when it was tanking. I want to say Kareem, the Lakers, and the Celtics helped the NBA at that time.
No, I think the Lakers and Celtics for sure. I mean, they literally played 4 games in a preseason against each other.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing, bro. The NBA was dope, man. It's crazy what it is now, but it's dope.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But let's go to the polls, bro. Let's see what the fans decide.
You already know who's finna win. I voted, so.
Yeah.
You voted for both. What you talking about?
What? How you vote for both for one click?
I saw your name. No, I think you double clicked. I think you clicked because you're like, oh wait, he's going for AI. But you first picked AI, then I think you forgot to undo your vote.
What I did was I clicked and it wasn't, the click wouldn't go through because I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi and my phone was acting weird. So I clicked it and then I turned on my Wi-Fi and then I clicked James. I was like, well, shit, ain't none of them working. And sure enough, I actually clicked both and I was like, well, y'all ain't getting my James Harden ain't getting my vote.
we know how both of us hate James Harden, so it's okay.
I can't stand James Harden, bro. I love seeing him play, but it's just something. His play style is just boring. It's not nothing interesting about it.
Before we go to the polls, it's like it's like what Kobe and T-Mac were saying when after he was doing his like 30 plus point game streak. He says it's fine to keep your team alive, but it'll never be championship. You'll never win championship play like this. Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
They said last dance too. They were like, we can't win with Michael scoring 30-plus points a game. And
with Doug Collins as coach, huh?
Yeah, 100%. You can't win scoring like that.
No, no. You need ball movement like with the Warriors, right? When they were healthy, like it was just ball movement. You couldn't stop that.
You gotta be a mixture of Detroit in 2004 and the Warriors in 2015, 2016. You gotta have your defense is either gonna be stronger than your offense or your offense has to be calculated. It doesn't necessarily have to be stronger, it needs to be calculated. You gotta know how to space the floor out and you gotta know how to facilitate.
Yeah. I do like how the NBA is now with a lot of duos, right? It kind of, I wouldn't say it leveled it, but half the league thinks they have a chance, right? But I like that aspect of instead of a team that has 3-4 all-stars and everybody's like, all right, they're coming out of the West. If it wasn't for their injuries, they probably win in 5 or 6 against the Raptors, right, with KD's injury and Clay going down. So I think
literally the East is a big mystery as far as who's coming out there. I think 1 minute, I'm sure it's the Raptors and the Bucks. And I'm like, but the Celtics are playing well right now, and
the Celtics are.
That's a great defensive team too.
The Celtics are about to get. The Celtics are about to get a lot of good players, bro. Watch this offseason when it's trade time. Watch how many players the Celtics get. A lot of people want to sleep on them, but Damian Lillard, he might not stay with Portland. He's been complaining. And
he's staying. Bro, he just signed a 5-year extension, bro.
Let me finish. Damian Lillard is mad. I don't care what anybody says, how much he wants to grind and work with one team. I don't care what anybody says. That boy won a championship. And he's not going to stay in Portland too much longer because he doesn't have the help. Yes, he has Nikola Jokic. Yes, he does have C.J. McCollum. That's not going to get it. That's not going to cut it. Yeah, you got a vet in Carmelo. That's not going to cut it. He's going to reach a space to where he's going to be ring chasing. And that's just facts, bro. Like, he's going to end up – he's either going to end up in Boston or he's going to end up with the Lakers. And you can say what you want. Hey, look, you heard it here first. He's either going to end up with Boston or the Lakers, bro.
Hey, it's 6 years away.
What space would Boston have for him? Like, they've got so many ball-heavy, dominant guards, and then Tatum needs his shots. Like, how would that work out? Like,
they're not going to.
We're talking about Boston 2 years from now. We don't know what Boston's going to look like 2 years from now. He's still got time on his contract. There's still opportunities to create I want an instant trade or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of teams that Damian Lillard could end up on. He could end up in New Orleans. I think that would be great for him.
There's only one team he would want to play for, and that's playing back home in Oakland. Well, now it's not Oakland, San Francisco. But he said he'll never join the Warriors because he doesn't want to be like what KD's dealt with being in Steph Curry's shadows, right?
Yeah.
And he just signed a 5-year extension, dude. His contract's like $300 million over 6 years. So he has minimum 6 years. So
okay,
with no trade.
Go ahead.
That includes it. Like, it's a full 6 years. He doesn't have an opt out after the 5th year either. So it's like a full 6 years. Yeah. So he's there for a minute, and he just signed this, I think, last year.
Marbury and sit down.
Yeah, I mean, they just went to the Western Conference Finals last year, right?
Me personally, I think he's going to leave, but I feel like with this bubble situation going on, I honestly believe that Portland is the best team in the West to win it, the team to win it. I want LeBron as bad as I want LeBron to get his 4th ring. I don't think it's going to happen, but I do believe that Portland is the strongest.
Over the Clippers?
I don't know about that, bro.
Clippers are cool. Clippers are great, but they're missing a lot of firepower. That game that LA and the Clippers played, that game was sad.
What do you mean?
Sad?
You weren't not
entertained? Like,
this sounds like a gladiator.
No, it was cool. I mean, it was good. It was okay to watch, but it was like I'm just watching a bunch of tired dudes like try to give it their best. Like,
they didn't even have the 3rd and 4th best player on the team. Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell weren't even playing.
And that's why to me, it wasn't a good game. It was like watching two people struggle. It was cool. Like I said, it was entertaining, but it could have been better because they're obviously both sides are missing people. We don't have every Bradley with the Lakers. We're missing Lou Williams. I think we were missing Patrick Beverly at the time.
No, Patrick Beverly played, but he only played the first quarter. He only played like 1 quarter.
Well, yeah, the most entertaining thing was just seeing like Paul George just busting threes, man. That shit was scary. That was scary. That was probably the scariest thing I saw because I'm like, if the Lakers, if this is the NBA Finals and this was Game 7, y'all won. But, man, if Paul George would have shot a few more times, it would have been game over.
This is the team that the Lakers do not want to face in the playoffs. And I think it's Denver. I think Denver is a team they need to watch out for because Jokic could do as much as AD. The only thing is they don't have a person.
You might want to chill on that one,
I mean, offensively, he could do as much. He's a better passer. He can shoot threes, but I think they're about even. But defensively, obviously, AD is
I don't know.
He can be. But he lost some weight, though.
Kawhi, James Harden, LeBron, I'd even throw in Luka or Jason Tatum. You not like – I just don't feel like you move the needle far enough as far as like, oh, this team's a first or second round versus this team is a semifinals team.
What I'm saying with Denver, they have shooters. Where are the Lakers shooters? Oh, wait, they don't have any. And if they do, they're on the bench.
But that's always been the Lakers, though, bro. Like, that's literally – that's why I said if the Lakers don't get it this year, it's a definite next year because they can free up so much cap space. You got to think, everybody that's signed to the Lakers right now that LeBron was picking and scrapping for, 1 year deal here, 1 year deal here, 1 year deal here. Yeah. So much cap space is going to be freed up. That's the main reason why AD didn't during the summer when he opted out and didn't re-sign. He's going to re-sign for maybe less, if not more, or something moderate to what he already has now. And then with that leftover money, they can sign another superstar. You got to think, bro. The bigger game plan is, when the NBA is back to normal. Because if let's be real, if LeBron wins this year, asterisk by his name, just like Tim Duncan with the ring he won during the lockout.
99.
He's got two rings with an asterisk on it. The 66 games.
Man.
You see what I'm saying? No. Let me finish. He's got two of them. Nobody. It's an unpopular opinion. Nobody really screams and yells about it. But LeBron did win his first ring during the lockout season, or his second one. I'm not sure which one, but he's won a ring during the lockout season. Tim Duncan gets knocked for it. I don't know why. I don't think it's that serious. But if LeBron was to win his fourth ring, that's just more of an argument for somebody to say Jordan's better than you.
But Jordan never had to play in those this situation or in a situation where they was playing 60 games and they crammed an entire season with like,
that's tough.
You playing every single day and people are getting hurt left and right. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. You're not getting rest like you normally used to.
And that's why I never and that's why the only argument I'll accept when it comes to Jordan and LeBron is LeBron don't really have that dog in him. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I feel like there's certain aspects of his game where it's like, bro, you could have really
I think he's starting to get it.
You could have went early legendary Super Saiyan and you chose to just be regular Vegeta. You dig what I'm saying? Like there was opportunities where LeBron could have really took over, but it's a different league. It's a different NBA. If you put Jordan in the league right now, Jordan's not. Yeah, he's balling. He's playing out of his mind, but he's dealing with a lot of other bullshit outside of just basketball because basketball players are basketball players. They're influencers too. You know what I'm saying? Like Damian Lillard right now can go on Facebook and say, you know what, I feel like this about police brutality, or I feel like this about the politics in America.
I will give that to LeBron. LeBron does speak out more than Jordan ever did, and people were like, when I can't remember in the document what was going on, but it was like Jordan never spoke out, Jordan never spoke out about, that subject. So I do definitely give LeBron his due when it comes to that, creating the school. It's really good.
Yeah, LeBron is he's a different animal when it comes to the NBA. But I mean, it's 2020, man. We're dealing with a pandemic. We're getting the best basketball I guess we can get because honestly, it just looks like them dudes is out there running Rucker games. And I love it. I mean, I love it. It's dope. Honestly, I like watching it. It feels more personal. There's no crowd. There's nobody trying to say, oh, yeah, go, go, go. There's no crazy people in the crowd with signs and stuff. So, I mean, the NBA that we're getting is it's the best we can do with what we got. But like I said, if the Lakers win this year, if they don't, I totally understand they want the NBA back the way it is, but if they don't win this year, it's an indefinite championship next year, without a doubt. Whoever wins it this year, it's either Portland or the Clippers.
Bro, you sound like Charles Barkley right now, bro. Like, bro.
Kobe Bryant.
Bro.
He put it in there, bro.
Bro, Blazers are not winning the championship, bro.
If Portland got a chance, the Raptors got a chance.
Oh, definitely the Raptors got a chance. That goes without saying. It's the East, bro. Like, the East is good, bro. The East is flat. Their only competition is the Bucks in Boston.
Yeah.
That's it. The Bucks in Boston, those are your biggest issues right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the Heat are one player away, though. The Heat are one player away, though.
Look, mark my words when you see it in the offseason. Joel Embiid is going to the Miami Heat.
I believe that. They've talked about that earlier.
Joel Embiid is going to the Miami Heat.
So they got to build around Ben Simmons now? Ugh.
Ben Simmons doesn't need to be on that team. Ben Simmons needs to go somewhere like Cleveland to where he can be forgotten about and develop his game. I'm just going to be straight up with you, dog. Ben Simmons needs to just go to Cleveland, Minnesota. You know what, honestly? Ben Simmons will be great. He will be a great partner for Michael Porter Jr. Ben Simmons is the perfect partner for Michael Porter Jr. because you got to think about it. He's a defensive dominant point guard. Ben Simmons has never been knocked for his defense. He just can't shoot. So if you put Ben Simmons in like maybe a small forward or a shooting guard position and take him off that point, he's fine. He's good. He doesn't need to be a point guard, bro. He needs to be a shooting guard or a small forward or something. He needs to be in a different position.
Could be a power forward.
Come on, man. You said it better than I could.
Yeah, I don't know. If you put him in Denver, oh, man. At
power forward? In Denver, bro. At power forward, Michael Porter Jr. don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah, that still feels crowded. Like, it's not enough ball to go around all them.
Mm-mm. But I think the only reason why I'm saying power forward is because when it's crunch time, it's those last 3-4 minutes of the game. You know what, Ben? We're gonna go ahead and put you at point guard. That's your natural position.
Here's the problem.
You're more fit than power forward. You see what I'm saying?
When it's game crunch time, 2 minutes, you got to sub him. It's like you have to sub him out at times, or the last minute because he can't even hit free throws. Like that's another problem.
Beta.
Dude, Joel Embiid shoots better than him.
Who?
But Joel Embiid shoots better free throws than him, bro. But let's just So let's check out what the fans said.
Yeah, we definitely got distraction from the poll.
All right, the fans spoken, and D and Drew. It looks like AI got the win.
Yeah, what 31% voted for James Harden? That's what I want to know.
That was on D.
Don't put that on me, man, because I clicked that. Look, I'm going to tell y'all the real. Look, my phone was messing up. I lost service for whatever reason, and I kept clicking both, trying to see if it worked. So when I came back, it clicked James Harden. I unclicked, and I clicked Allen Iverson.
Hey, I guarantee
you mysteriously clicked James Harden 3 more times.
I was clicking both 3 more times, man. Look, I was just trying to see somebody win, but I was obviously on Allen Iverson's side. I wish somebody else would have clicked it.
No, I think like a lot of people who picked James Harden was more of like kids in high school or just got out of high school, like that type of thing. Yeah. I think most of that where they didn't really see AI, right? So, but I mean, Allen Iverson was a beast, man. 6 feet, score buckets, 50 in your face, no problem. Like James, just it's a new era, no hand checking, so it is what it is. But what did you think, Drew? How do you like this debate?
I feel like it was hard. I just feel like it was like the poll suggested. It was just overmatched. Like Allen Iverson really almost has no equal. Like no. Yes. I mean, in today's game, the closest I would say would be Damian Lillard. But I feel the way about Damian Lillard to Allen Iverson the same way I feel about Kobe to Michael Jordan. They're just carbon copies of each other. Dame is a carbon copy of Iverson, and Kobe is a carbon copy of Michael Jordan.
Would you put Allen Iverson more towards comparing him to Kyrie then?
More towards what?
Would you do you think Allen Iverson more is toward, like, if we debated Allen Iverson more of a Kyrie with the handles aspect and can score on you? More so than Damian Lillard? Or what do you think?
I don't know, because I feel like he That's suggested tough. Earlier in the conversation, I just feel like Kyrie is cut from the same cloth as James Harden sometimes. It's like come on, man. Like, did you really need to leave LeBron? Like, y'all know y'all need each other, but you had to be the man. And then you go to Boston. You go to Boston and you become a cancer. You try to ruin that team. They say, "Oh, it's really you." They get rid of you, and now they're doing wonderful. Let's give to Jason Tatum the rock.
Somebody agrees with me. Finally, somebody agrees with me. Kyrie is a cancer to every team that he goes to. Kyrie is – everybody wanted to compare Kyrie to Kobe when he first came out. Kyrie does way too much to get to the rim. He's not a leader. Yeah. He's not a team player. And the only reason why he was looked at as such when he was with LeBron is because those final seconds when he made that shot to push them to a win, to win the 2015-2016 NBA Finals.
But let's be real. It wasn't just that shot.
Hold on. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. When he left Cleveland and went to Boston, I'm going to be here for the next 3 to 5 years. A couple years go by. I need better players. A couple years go, more time goes by. I'm out. Now you're in Boston. You're with the Brooklyn Nets. Now you're complaining about, we don't have enough starting players. Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan. Then you got a whole bench of shooters.
Even Jared Allen's doing his thing. Coming off
KD
the bench.
is coming out next year.
Thank you, bro. You're not appreciating the situation that you're in. That's not our fault. Kyrie's garbage, bro. He's a great player, trash person. He doesn't. And a lot of people. I just seen an article come out talking about he's misunderstood. How are we misunderstood when you're telling us exactly what the fuck you feel?
Oh, this is the same guy that thinks the Earth is flat. Okay, like he thinks the Earth is flat, bro.
That's probably why he got a good shot.
Career.
Yeah, bro. He's a cancer, bro. Any team he goes to, bro, he's a cancer, bro. Kyrie is never gonna get another ring.
Yeah, that's it. It's tough, man. And man, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm excited for next week because we got Kobe and Jordan next week, man.
And everybody everybody on the chat can admit when you shoot and you make it, Kobe.
Every day.
Every day, bro.
All day.
Every day, bro. Every day. Never. Nobody's saying Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan. No, it's Kobe. And we lost a basketball phenomenon. There'll never be another player like him.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
That being said, man, rest in peace, Kobe. Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it, man. Hey, Drew, we appreciate you coming through for the podcast, man. It's been a good time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you want to come back, man, you just, hit up Tony, or, hit up Tony. But, yeah, man, appreciate it, bro. 100%, man. It's always good to have people on
thanks,
here.
guys. This was a lot of fun. This is definitely a lot of fun.
We try to, just bring on people, man, and because me and D do our own thing, but we want more personalities, makes the show fun.
Yeah, man. This is so. Think of coming to Saturday morning traffic as your internet man cave. You know what I'm saying? Like
the internet barbershop, bro. What are you talking about?
Come on, man. Internet barbershop. If you need a lineup, call us.
All right, man. But yeah, go ahead, D. End it.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy D. I'm here with my man T. And this is Saturday morning traffic, the greatest podcast, not the latest podcast. That was a great fucking episode. I want to give a big shout out to Andrew 2K. You know what I'm talking about? Good dude. Great points. Dope advice. When y'all watch this episode, I'm going to just let y'all know right now. You're going to get some education. You're going to get your mental state elevated. You dig what I'm talking about? But, yeah. This Saturday morning traffic, the greatest podcast, not the latest podcast. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, dislike. We let our haters be our motivators. You know what I'm talking about? We do this shit because we love it. Not because we hate you. You know what I'm talking about? And I got my man T in the building, the coolest, best, greatest co-host ever. And with that being said, we out.